Okay, back from break, and so this is going to have just a little bit of the deck building here, and then it goes right to round one, match one. Um, I'll be speaking with my buddy throughout this, so it looks kind of confusing. It looks like I'm playing my buddy. I do play him second round, but I will be playing different people for my first round matches. So here we go. For this particular block, unless I have a really aggressive deck, then I will probably choose to draw first. I always think that card advantage is kind of the better thing to have here. I open up with Bloodline Keeper in my hand and Reaper from the Abyss. So I've got one of my key cards, and I've got a card that can help me stabilize in case I'm in trouble. Plus, I've got a very decent third turn drop in the Patrician. There's a good chance that I will get this guy out and at least get 3 life from him. I like to think of lifelink in this environment when I take 3 from my opponent and gain 3 myself. I mean that's in essence bridging the gap between us by 6 points. That's very good. So lifelink is decent. The other thing lifelink is decent for is for stabilizing when you take a lot of early game damage. Um, it's nice to have a couple of guys with lifelink in the scenario where the board gets cleared and nothing is left. If your first creature is a lifelink creature, then that's good stuff. Here I'm probably in the other window here. I'm checking what the prize payouts are, just out of curiosity to see what I should win or what kind of record I should make sure that I have. Not that I would ever lose on purpose, geez. But I oftentimes I forget these things when the event has started, and then I go, oh, maybe I better go check that out. So that's what I'm doing there. It's kind of retarded that I'm doing that then, but there we go. Now we're back to the game. We're going to devote our full attention to that. Doom Traveler, good card for the humans. When it dies, it's going to replace itself. So good stuff. So I have a choice here between playing the Ironsmith and the Markov Patrician, and I think First Strike is the better way to go here. Patrician at best would trade against that Doom Traveler, and that's really not the most effective way to be playing my early turns. Ironsmith, on the other hand, has more potential to become a 3/1 First Striker, and First Strike is, I believe, phenomenal in this block. So I'm going to race to get my Bloodline Keeper out. I imagine the only removal I'm afraid of at this point is that Monster Slayer guy, and something that will only target vampires. I have every reason to believe my opponent may be playing something like this, but at the same time, since it's such a removal light block, I have just as much of a idea that they would not actually be playing that. So basically, with this deck, my goal is always to make lots of little vampires. I don't expect most opponents that I play against are going to have a way to deal with that. So instead of attacking here and opening myself up to rebuke with the Bloodline Keeper, at least I'm going to send Iron Fang over, and yes, he's going to get his spirit token. That's okay. I'm not losing a card. There's nothing wrong with that for me. He's probably just setting himself up to have something else to deal with this Bloodline Keeper. So I can play my Patrician now. Basically, with this deck, when you've got Bloodline Keeper, any turn where you can play a vampire means you get 2 vampires, and that's closer to getting your magic number of 5. You get 5 vampires with a Bloodline Keeper. You can flip as an instant, and basically giant growth all your vampires, and usually attack for the win the very next turn. And now we see why he was eager to get rid of his human. He's got a Stitch Strike, so he's got good stuff now on the flying end of things. I can block with my keeper, or I can block with a 2/2. I don't mind losing a 2/2 flying token, so I'm going to block with that token. I don't really understand why he attacked there. I think it was a bluff. Either that or he's trying to set up Morbid. But since he has no mana left, I think it was just a blunder on his part. I'll play the Scarecrow here gladly, although I probably could have popped a land and put the Abyss, Reaper of the Abyss down. But most of the time, I'm not going to play the Reaper from the Abyss unless things are going really bad for me. My reasoning there is because he targets any non-demon. So if he clears his own board and I'm left with a bunch of guys that aren't demons, that guy's gonna affect me, and I don't want to have that happen. So that's another reason why the Reaper from the Abyss stays in my hand in most of these games. If I'm already ahead, I don't need to play him. That creates a scenario where the opponent can get ahead of me. Yeah, sure, I might be able to get on board with 6 extra damage per turn, but I'm going to win. At this point, I'm looking at this table going, I'm going to win this game anyway without the extra 6 points of damage, and all I'm doing by playing this guy is giving him a possible out. You never want to play your cards that have heavy potential costs to them unless you really need to. And here I believe I decide to double block with the tokens. It slows me down at getting my 5 vampires, but I'm not scared of losing 2/2 flying vampire tokens that I can replace. Plus, because of the scarecrow, he's only killing 1. If I was going to lose 2 of my vampires here, I would have a harder time. I would want to take that damage. But since I know I'm going to only lose 1 of them, and I'm going to stop him from being able to block future vampires that I send in, it's really just not a hard decision for me to make here. I'm going to always send my flyers in because again I can make more, and I've still got the lifelink guy on defense if I really wanted to trade him off. But I'm very much in a situation this game where I have little to worry about. Maybe I play too slowly at times, but I think it's still the right thing to do in this scenario. And I'm just at this point I'm just wondering what he has over there, and he obviously has nothing.